Welcome back to our Shake and Bake podcast. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel as we are posting videos every week. I'm here with the Hammer. Josh, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good for Saturday. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. Fantasy team wise, we had the Packers and Commanders play on Thursday. That game was pretty good. How'd you feel about that game?
I didn't watch the whole game. I watched it to like the third quarter, and to me, I thought the Packers look really good offensively. Jordan Love, I think looks really good, and he's got a lot of weapons around him. Except for your boy Golden, he looks pretty bad. But Jacobs looks good, and Reed out for a while now, right? He got hurt.
Yeah, you got hurt in that
I
game.
think he broke his collarbone, so he's going to be out for I think, probably 6 to 8 weeks. And Romeo Dobbs looked pretty good, so I mean, he definitely climbs the ladder on their team fantasy and the receiver fantasy throughout the league. Um, and the Commanders really didn't impress me too much on offense. They really didn't do much for almost 3 quarters, and then halfway through the third quarter and the fourth quarter, they got some points, but they were down, so much they had to throw the ball.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels did get hurt towards the end of the game. I think he rolled up on his ankle or his knee. I saw a report that he got an MRI on his knee yesterday. So hopefully everything's good there with him.
Oh, I didn't see
And
that.
yeah, he got an MRI on that. And then going back to Golden, I think he had two passes where he burnt the guy and Jordan Love underthrew him.
I had Love last year in the fantasy, and he again started out real good. Then he got hurt pretty badly, and then he was never really the same the whole year. And he's got talent, and they're a well coached team. Also, another injury to talk about: Eckler's out for the season. He tore his Achilles.
Yeah, non-contact injury. Eckler's done. Right as I saw it, it reminded me of a Rodgers incident with his Achilles.
Yeah, yeah, those Achilles injuries are terrible, and it just seems to be through the NFL. Even in basketball. Who was the kid who played against the Knicks on Indiana? What's his name? Halliburton.
Halliburton.
Yeah, that was pretty gruesome when he jumped up and took that shot and tore his Achilles against the Knicks.
We're gonna
Hmm.
shift our focus to fantasy. You played against Tucker Craft.
Of
How was
course,
that?
that's great. It's great to see a tight end score 24 points on your squad. That's pretty amazing. I looked at the Tucker. I watched the highlights. 'Cause I didn't watch toward a lot of that game, but he looked good. He looked really good.
Yeah, Love was finding him on a lot of throws. I think with the Jaden Reed injury that he was popping off, and then he had that 60-yard catch and run off of scrambles.
Yeah, he looks good. I mean, man, he was the main guy. I mean, I forgot to mention him before. Like, shame on me, but like, talk about the receivers. Dobbs and this guy with Kraft that was pretty much the whole offense on the receiving side.
Going in fantasy this week as well with two Monday night games. Obviously, we got the Bucks and the Texans, and then the Raiders Chargers. I got Hampton and Genty performing for me. I think they're gonna have a mock game. Two rookies going at it with terrible defenses. So, how
I
do you?
like Hampton. Yeah, I like Hampton. I'm not really that huge on Genty, but we'll see. I mean, Genty didn't really show me much last week. My squad, I benched Baker Mayfield. I'm playing Dak against the Giants. I think he could steamroll the Giants. I think the Giants are just horrible.
Yeah, I think Hampton and Gentry have a big game. I need Nico Collins to have a big game. He needs to show something where he's gonna get dumped off soon.
Yeah, Nico Collins is like my AJ Brown. Another those two just laid duds
I
in
should
their
have took Smith
first
and
weeks.
Jigba. Smith and Jigba, in my opinion, is one of the biggest sleepers of fantasy.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised to see AJ Brown in that 2 to 3 round where I picked second. So I kind of I don't know why I took him. I was looking at the stupid forecasts and rankings, and I should have just went with my own instincts and taken someone else. I should have taken. I stuck my game plan. It would have been Jonathan Taylor, and I would have taken Chase Brown on the Bengals.
Yeah, I got Travis Hunter playing against the Bengals this week, and I have Keenan Allen. I'm still unsure who to start. Obviously, Travis Hunter had his first career game, 8 targets from Trevor Lawrence, and then Keenan Allen had a monster game. So, I mean, how can you deter from Keenan Allen?
I honestly, I like Travis Hunter, but I just worry if he gets tired, they're just going to keep him on defense. I would go with Keenan Allen. I think if I were you.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do our first segment ever, the Hammer picks. So Green Bay obviously beat Washington -3.5. And we got the Rams again at Tennessee -5.5. Who are you taking?
The Rams at 10. I'm taking the Rams.
Why are you picking the Rams?
I just Tennessee doesn't show me that much. I think the Rams, explosive, and I like Kieran Williams. I like Stafford. I like their wideouts, Nakua, and my old Jet Devontae Adams from last year. So I just think the Rams might have a little bit too much firepower for them.
Our next pick is at Pittsburgh -2.5 against Seattle.
This is an interesting game. Um, what's 2.5 in Pittsburgh?
Yep, 2.5 in Pittsburgh.
I'm going to take the Steelers.
Yeah, I like the Steelers as well.
I think the Steelers looked pretty good on offense last week against the Jets. I'm not saying the Jets defense looked pretty anything good, but you know what? They're coming home. Their defense is decent. They had a pretty bad week against the Jets, but I think they'll rebound and they'll beat Seattle.
All right, I'm gonna do this pick: Buffalo at the Jets. I'm taking the Bills after they came back from 15 points. I'm taking the Bills -6.5.
What did I tell you last week? That game, my prediction, I said it'd be a close game with Pittsburgh, and the Jets would somehow find a way to lose the game, and I was right there. And I hate to say it, I'm going to say the same thing. I take the Bills in a close game, but the Jets will find a way to lose.
Before we continue, let's just talk about the Jets. Obviously, they're our favorite team. What do you think is gonna happen during that game? You think Josh Allen's gonna have a MVP performance?
Well, if Josh Allen watched film of last week's game, he's probably salivating to get a chance to throw the ball against Stevens, our cornerback. So he's not going to look at Sauce at all. I don't think too much during that game. He's going to go after Stevens. And he's going, like your dad would say, he's going to go over the middle. They have two pretty good tight ends. The Jets' weakness on defense, I think it's definitely the secondary is the linebacking crew. Their front four is good, but I don't know. Buffalo scares me. Jets, I think, can score points on Buffalo. I don't think Buffalo's defense is anything great.
Yeah, after watching that Sunday game with Josh Allen, a lot of the times with the Jets' problem is they can't contain a quarterback, and when Josh Allen doesn't have like his first guy open or second guy at his checkdowns, he scrambles outside the pocket, and that's really where like the Jets struggle. Their
That's a
secondary
good
is not.
point. No,
Yeah,
that's a good point you just said. The Jets have never done well against quarterbacks that can run. So, like I said, Josh Allen, if he gets an opening, no one's open, he's going to take off. And that's where the Jets never have done well in the past.
and what is the Jets' number one struggle also besides that? The tight
What's
end.
that? Man,
And Buffalo has three great tight ends who, in that Sunday game, had big catches. So, I mean, I'm gonna have to go Buffalo here.
it's another good point. The Jets always seem to get beat up by tight ends. And like I said, Buffalo's got like a Kincaid, right? Who else? They got Kincaid. They
Knox
have, yeah, Knox. Knox is
and
good.
and then the rookie in the Sunday night game, his first ever catch, he caught on the 1 yard line for like 30 yards.
Right, and I saw something. I don't know what his status is, but Mason Taylor wound up on the injury report.
Yeah, I was listening
But
to a press conference from practice. Sauce had a groin injury, so he was limited. And then Mason Taylor had an ankle, and he missed the other day. But he said they should be able to go on Sunday.
I think the Jets have to be. It's kind of a two-edged sword or double-edged sword. I say they have to be aggressive on defense and put pressure on Josh Allen because if he's got time to throw, he's just going to dissect them.
Yeah. Let's move forward towards Detroit at home against Chicago, -5.5.
You know what? That's a tough game. I think Detroit should bounce back, but that's a lot of points to give the Bears, right? I mean, 5 points.
Yeah.
I think it's a close one. I think the Bears might cover the spread.
I was listening to St. Brown's podcast, like a clip, and he said when Ben Johnson comes in, we're booing the F out of him. So
Yeah.
they're angry.
Well, there's another good point. That the Bears could keep it close because Ben Johnson, no one knows the Detroit team better than him.
Yeah, but Detroit at home was like one of the best teams with the rushing game. I think Gibbs and Montgomery are gonna both have a touchdown. I mean, last year they had 10
I
straight games with a touchdown each, and they split
I
drives.
I, I bench Montgomery in my other league. In my league,
Really? Who would you play over him?
I played the kid from who's that kid, the rookie from New England, the receiver, Booty
Yeah, I think he's like a second year guy.
at LSU.
Or he rookie, yeah, Booty.
Yeah, Booty. Yeah, he was the LSU. He
I
looked
thought
really good. Unfortunately, I got him and I have Diggs. So I'm trying to see who's going to be the more targeted guy, either Diggs or him. Then whoever is the more targeted guy, I'll keep, and I'll get rid of the other guy.
All right, Dallas at home against the Giants, -5.5.
Dallas.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Dallas is gonna. I think Dallas is gonna kick their ass.
Yep. And then we have Baltimore at home coming off a loss that I don't think they should have lost. Minus 10.5 against Cleveland. It's a lot of points.
Yeah, the Browns were impressive last week against Cincinnati. I mean, they pretty much held that high flying offense to like nothing. So I think Baltimore wins, but I think the Browns cover the spread.
With these divisional games, a lot of time it's a lot closer than people think because the Browns at home last year beat Baltimore on like a field goal or touchdown, and it was like 18-point spread or whatever, and no one thought they would win the game. I don't know. You sticking with Baltimore here, 10.5 points?
I'm gonna, like I said, I think Baltimore will win, but I think Cleveland could keep that game interesting. I like the points.
So 10.5 Cleveland we're taking.
I'm taking them.
Niners traveling to New Orleans minus 4.5.
This this looks like the sucker bet. I mean, everyone's gonna say take the Niners, take the Niners. And who's the Mac is the quarterback?
Yeah, Mac
No.
Jones was their quarterback, and there was a report that in the draft when they wanted to take Mac Jones at pick number 2, but they stuck with Trey Lance and they took Trey Lance in that draft.
Yeah, isn't that funny? And look at the Jets took Wilson over Fields, and look who's quarterback in the Jets. Ironic, right? You know, I'm gonna say I'm gonna take the Niners. I mean, it's tough to bet on New Orleans. New Orleans is so bad.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the Niners. They're just gonna give McCaffrey the ball and let him go to work.
Exactly. They have too many weapons, even with the backup quarterback, who's actually pretty good.
I'm really surprised at this. Miami is home against the Patriots, minus 1.5.
Yeah, I don't know. These last two, like you said, they're like the sucker bet. I don't know. It's when it seems to be true, it is. I mean, it's you know what Miami. They were horrible last week, but I mean they could bounce back. I mean the Patriots aren't that great. I mean they lost. What was the final score
I think it was 7.
to the Raiders, right?
Correct.
Yeah, you know what? I'm taking my hometown Dolphins.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Dolphins, but they did have a player meeting yesterday. No
No,
coaches or anything.
is Tyreek is out of jail or no? He's going to get cuffed
Yeah,
tomorrow.
he's playing.
He's going to get cuffed on the way to the game to the stadium.
Probably like 80%. He
Get,
might.
get pulled over in his Lamborghini.
Yep. We'll go with the Dolphins as well. Minus 1.5. It's just good value at home. In like the hot weather.
Yeah, it is hot down here. And it's been rainy here, so it could be wet.
We got the Bengals minus 3.5 against the Jaguars, and Cincinnati is home.
I would think the Bengals bounce back this week. They were atrocious last week, and they still won.
I think Burrow's gonna have a game. And he 8 points in fantasy is not cutting it.
Well, why wouldn't he? He's playing against me.
Jamar Chase had 5 points and only like 4 targets, so I think they're both gonna they're due. They're due.
With Mike's matchups against me this week, I think Mike could beat me like 20. I mean, 200 to maybe 10.
It all depends though on how Burrow plays. If Burrow plays terrible, I think you win.
Yeah, he has Burrow, Chase, right?
Yeah,
Chase Brown, and he's got Jamar Chase. He's got the three-headed horseman.
he does. Yep. So you just need the Bengals to. If
Did
you're
he
just
go
going
out?
with the Bengals and you're playing them,
Did he go out and buy a Bengal jersey?
taking the Bengals minus 3.5 here.
Yeah, well, so I hate taking too many favorites, but that's the way it's kind of looking like right now.
Arizona's at home minus 6.5 against Carolina. I mean, Carolina's terrible, but I don't know.
I'm gonna go and take the points at the home team.
Okay, minus 6.5 to Arizona.
Yep.
I like Kyler Murray. I think Marvin Harrison also showed a lot in his second start, and then he
Yeah,
had
that was.
18 points and he had a
I like
touchdown.
Marvin Harrison. I don't know what I had like a brain fart when I took freaking make Baker Mayfield in the fourth round. I should have taken Marvin Harrison Jr.
I was watching him from like this year to last season. He had like 15 pounds of muscle put on him, and he looked so much bigger, even
Nah,
better.
he's gonna be good. I like Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, I mean his dad is in the Hall of Fame, so
I
he'd be great.
remember watching him for a long time on the Colts. Him and Peyton Manning were some duo.
So we got Denver traveling to Indy against Danny Dimes, minus 2.5 to Denver.
Oof, damn. I like the Broncos.
I like Indy. You don't like Danny Dimes?
Danny Dimes. Yeah, I like him till the Bronco defender like just picks him up and throws him on his head.
You do have Jonathan Taylor that you're deterring from your fantasy team.
Yeah, I got two great matchups. I got Jonathan Taylor against Denver, and I have Bijan against Minnesota. Probably the best rushing defense in the league. You couldn't ask for two worse matchups, but they are two studs. But they're going to be limited. They're going to have a tough time this week.
Yeah, I think Sertan's gonna lock up, but they really don't have like a number one receiver on Indy. It's just Pittman and
Yeah, Pittman's the
and
main guy
Warren.
there. It seems like, right? Well, Tyler Warren's that was a good pick by them.
Yeah, I have him in my fantasy team. He's obviously a rookie.
Well, which fantasy teams? I think you have like five of them, don't you?
Yeah, I have him in 3 leagues.
You're crazy.
Game of the week, 425. Billy going to Kansas City, minus point
That,
0.5. So it's basically whoever wins.
uh, I guess you got to go with the home team.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs they can't start 0-2. It just doesn't feel right.
Well, they're gonna be pissed off too, getting their butts kicked in the Super Bowl.
I think the Mahomes is gonna sling the ball, and they're gonna shut down Saquon because last year they let Saquon run all over them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they got mauled.
Yeah, our third to last game we got Minnesota home against Atlanta. I'm gonna take Minnesota here,
Minnesota home against Atlanta. That's gonna be a tough game. How many points
minus
is it?
4.5.
Wow, that's a really good game. I'm gonna stick with my boy JJ McCarthy.
Michigan guy.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, Penix, I don't really. He had like a couple scrambling touchdowns, but they didn't really do anything with that game. And also, Young Wei Koo missing that field goal. I'm not
No,
sold on
he's
him.
that guy's the worst. I had him last year. I remember one game. I think he had three missed field goals. I had him. I said, forget. I dropped him the next week.
Yeah, and Bijan is that whole team, and the Vikings have a great
Well,
run defense.
they do have they had some good news. Drake London's coming back from an injury. He's going to play, so that's pretty good for them.
And then we got Houston home against Tampa Bay, minus 2.5. Who are you
Houston
taking?
home -2.5. I'm going to stick with my Bucks.
Tampa Bay, Florida
Tampa,
team.
yeah, that's my boys.
CJ Stroud didn't show anything to me last week. He had like 86 yards at halftime, and Nico Collins did nothing. I don't like the Texans. I'm not a fan of the Texans this year
Why'd you take Nico Collins then?
because I thought he would do something, and after watching that game, I'm going off last week. I'm not a fan of him.
The same thing I took with the same reason I took AJ Brown.
Yeah, I mean he is on a good team, but he was hurt.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think I like the Bucks defense. With head coach who's a defensive guru, but I got the Bucks.
Yep. And then we got the Chargers going to Vegas, minus 3.5.
I like Chargers.
Why do you like the Chargers?
I just like their weapons, I like their coach. I love Harbaugh. I believe he coached Michigan to a national championship. What do you call it? I like Harbaugh, his weapons, Hampton, Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnson, Alad McConkey. I just think, I don't think the Raiders are that good.
I feel like Gino's gonna try to throw the ball for like 300 yards and then throw like two picks. He's always due for an
I was just
interception.
going to say, Mr. Interception. Exactly.
He's always due, and they don't really give the ball to Genti that much because their offensive line is not that good. But
This will be I think, a telling game for Genty to see how he does and see how
this
they
game's
use him.
at. Do you see this game's at 10 o'clock?
Yeah, I know, on the East Coast. I guess
Yeah.
I guess you could say 7 on the West Coast, which is not so bad.
I think the Chargers will close it out minus 3.5. Jim Harbaugh loves his points as well.
At
So
least they're not playing in Brazil.
yeah, that was really bad.
That was horrible. What the hell is? I guess the NFL, instead of having a football, they should have like a dollar sign.
All right, let's just finish up talking about the Jets. Sunday game. How many yards do you think Justin Fields is going to throw and rush for?
I think he'll go over 200 passing yards, and he'll probably rush for over 50. That's a pretty conservative thing, but I think that's pretty doable, and probably throw a couple TDs.
Yeah, I think Brees Hall as well is going to be a big factor. You saw Derrick Henry had like 200 rushing yards in the second half or whatever, or the first half of the game. Like he was a beast.
Well, I
And
think
Braylon Allen's going to play a big role too, in my opinion, in this game.
yeah, I think it's a good point. I think the Jets are smart. It doesn't bode well. But Garrett Wilson will get open, but they got to pound the ball. They got to run them again, run behind those two bookend left and right tackles, Membu and Fashionow, and just pound the ball on him and keep Josh Allen off the field.
Membu was rated the best tackle in the league week 1.
Yeah, I watched like the close clips on him. I was noticing fashion a little bit more. But I remember when you know, showed him individually, he was pretty impressive for his first game.
There's one clip of him with TJ Watt, and he had like a dominant pass rush, and then he threw TJ Watt on the ground, and that clip went viral.
Yeah, but I also saw the one that TJ Watt went inside on him and he went outside Mambu and he got right by him. So I mean, listen, he's a rookie. He went against a really tough guy. It's probably a good learning experience for him. And don't forget, it's only his first game, but his future is bright. Let's just hope he stays healthy.
So if the Jets lose this week and Brandon Stevens gets lit up in the secondary and Tony Adams, do you want them benched?
No, I think what we do is we do the same thing we do to Xavier Gibson. Sayonara.
They can't cut the guy though. They signed him to a 3-year deal.
I put him on scout team.
So you signed a guy to a 3-year
Right.
deal worth
Yeah,
$20 million, and you put him to the scout team.
the guy's a bum. I mean, that was the worst job of covering last week I've ever seen in my life. That was horrendous.
That is the one signing that the Jets have made that I'm so questioned by it. Like you draft a corner in the 3rd round, who I think is like should have been a early
Well, like
second.
you said, maybe they put him in there. If this guy's having a hard time tomorrow, getting lit up by Coleman or whoever is getting, who's against, then
He's
you got,
done. Yeah.
put the rookie in. Get the rookie a shot. Put him in for a series. See how he does. Because when Josh Allen sees a rookie coming in, he's just going to go right at him. The guy's going to turn into a lollipop in front of Josh Allen's eyes. It's just going to go right at him.
The one guy I can't stand in the Jets is Tony Adams in the safety role. He's like a little meatball in the safety.
Well,
He's
again,
like
they have another rookie they drafted who's supposed to be really good
Malachi Moore. That's one of my
from
favorite
Alabama.
picks.
So put the rookies in. Throw them in.
In the preseason, he had 2 picks.
I like it. If these guys can't do their jobs and are hurting the team like Stevens did last week, he was a disaster. Every time I watched him, he was getting beat.
Tony Adams and Stevens, they're on the chopping block, in my opinion.
Exactly. They're heading to Xavier Gibson land.
Yeah, thank God we cut him. And then they said they're bringing up returners and they're starting new guys. So I mean, hopefully the return game is pretty good.
I think I read something. You probably know better. They read something that they signed some guy from Detroit.
Yeah, Aaron Glenn coached with him.
I don't know the
Detroit.
guy's name. I remember seeing it earlier in the week.
He was like a special teams guy. So
right. All I saw was Aaron Glenn's familiar with him. He's from Detroit, so that's I trust him on that. I just hope the Jets somehow, some way, pull it together on defense and listen. The Jets have beaten Buffalo, I think, the last 2 or 3 years at home. Let's hope they can keep the streak going.
all right, we're gonna be signing off. Shake and Bake Podcast. Josh, thank you for your time today.
Shake and bake.